Okay, this is one of the videos I'm going to take more time with. And I shot this video, I'm going to review Duality for you. Why I say you're in a box, to explain the matrix. I've seen some other YouTube videos, some people are closer than others on it. I'm going to explain out the duality you're seeing, and that's kind of like a check, like it's a double check. When you see messages from God, you should see them in a duality. Even like Gideon, he had the duality of the soaked fleece and the dry fleece. So he had both sides. It's like how the whole universe is. You got the bright side of the moon, the dark side of the moon. You've got, everything has duality. You got the North Pole, the South Pole. All magnets are that way. All electricity runs that way. You've got positive and negative. There's a duality in this universe. There's also a duality inside of ourselves. I highly recommend Carl Sung. You should study up on that. If you really want to learn more about like what the Star Wars talks about the Force, he's like a Jedi master if you really wanted to study the Force in the real world instead of in fictional movies. But what most people don't realize is there's a lot of truth in the fiction, especially the fictional movies, especially as of recently. And most of them, at least most of what I watch and see, is prophecy. I see it almost everywhere. It intrigues me, but I'm drawn to it, and I vibrate at that frequency. I don't spend my time trying to figure out whose daddy it is, whose daddy on watching Maury. You're watching that stuff. You're you're not going to find anything redemptive in that, except for feeling a little bit less bad about yourself because you see people doing even worse. So I shot this video here, this road closed, I'm going to blow up, you can see, 6 days ago. So this is duality, and this is proving I'm right. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing these. Well, I can't really predict the future, but this, you can see, came from NBC News. You can see my name, Mark, M-A-R-C. and/or K. M-A-R-C. That's my name. That's my real name. That's my legal name that I was given by my parents. That's how it's spelled. So, why is that important? Well, we've got duality over here. So what I'm trying to tell you, and I have no connection inside NBC, CBS, or ABC News. I use them because they're mainstream and they're the most trusted. I would never use, one of the other cable news outlets because they're too polarized. I realize some people on the far right think that this is all left-leaning and liberal shit, but I'm not even getting into politics as best I can. I'm sticking with the weather, and natural disasters. So, without getting too deep into all that, we'll go into, what episode was this? This was August 14th, so this was yesterday's news broadcast. Thank God they put it on the internet, and thank you, NBC, for letting me use this. I hope you let these videos stay up. It dawned on me, you guys might hit me with a bunch of copyrights and knock these things down. But most people aren't really interested in watching old news, so I don't think they're going to protect the copyrights on this.
Sure does, Tom. Thank you.
Oh, let me turn this up. And I'll put tools on. Not tools. No, not that. But it doesn't matter. You should be able to hear it without closed captioning.
With the investigation of the fires underway, many are turning to the recovery, housing,
and even this is a duality, because that long road to recovery that he's talking about right here, that's what I'm talking about. You're trying to do it again. This is in a micro format, but the micro and the macro are interchangeable almost. What makes up the micro over and over again makes up the macro. So again, this is a duality in and of itself right here. The long road to recovery, that's also what we had after COVID. But what I'm saying is you're going the wrong direction. Like COVID was your timeout, halftime, reevaluate your priorities and stop this nonsense of unlimited growth with limited resources. You're doomed to failure. I mean, it's inevitability. It's not, well, maybe this will fail, maybe it won't. You guys are spending money like drunken sailors. Eventually, that process inevitably turns into you running out of money, and that's going to be your economic catastrophe, which is right around the corner. But none of you people pay attention to shit. So I'm just pointing all this stuff out. So all this will be written in the record, and all this was available to all of you in your pockets. All you had to do was open up your cell phone and go to. I realize finding these websites might not be that easy, but this is a pattern. Again, it's the micro and the macro. You guys ignore the truth anytime it's inconvenient for you, and that's your problem. But here we go. Long road to recovery. You need to take a different motherfucking road, dummies.
Of the fires underway, many are turning to the recovery. Housing a top priority, and there is concern about toxic fumes and debris. Miguel Almaguer has had rare access inside Lahaina, and Miguel, not all residents are getting back into the burn zone.
Lester, residents who live outside of the burn zone are being allowed back into the area, but for those who live in the heart of Lahaina, the community you see behind me, they're not allowed to come back just yet. FEMA is in there, and it's unclear when their work will be done.
As the smoke rises and the sorrow sets in, tonight this charred, desolate moonscape is the only hope and home many have left.
It's closed, nobody can go in.
But the main highway into Lahaina is shut down, and the perilous cliffside back road is the sole way in.
The route they're trying to make us take is a dangerous route.
That's the route I'm trying to make you take too. It's a different, long, winding route. It's not the mainstream route. This is also a duality. This is how it's playing out. This is the universe talking to you, but you're too blind to see it, and you're too deaf to hear it. And the reason why you're blind is because you won't open your eyes. It's not because God made you blind. It's because you choose to be blind, and you choose your ignorance, because the truth condemns you, and that's you need to walk through the fire to be able to be cleansed. But you guys are just avoiding the fire, which is the problem.
Even on a good day.
For so many residents, the road to recovery has hit a maze of blockades. Nearly a week after the fires, most still can't survey the damage to see what's been lost or spared.
The randomness of this wildfire is evident in this neighborhood. There are homes and apartments that are still standing, but just across the street here, total destruction. For those that want to return and rebuild, that process is going to take years.
We get no information, and
There. Right here. You got another road closed sign. And what I like is you've got duality of my initials. These are my initials. My first name's Mark. I'm not going to give you my full name because I don't want you dumb idiots trying to come and track me down and kill me. Because I'm just the messenger. This is your karma. You're reaping what you sow. I'm just trying to warn you so that you can mitigate the circumstances and kind of pay your debt down so you don't just suffer and just this, I'm trying to tell you how to avoid the train wreck that you're inevitably going to hit, but you just keep ignoring me. This is what it meant to not receive the mark. You're not receiving me. You're not receiving the truth. M is for Mark. I'm not going to give you my other names, but these are my initials. Here, and road closed 6 days ago on NBC News. Road closed. Mark. And I haven't made a video about it for you guys to ignore. So, anyways, let's look at another duality. What does 911 mean? So this is August 14th. And if you look here, it's going to disappear on me. See these times? I got queued up to 911, and the total time for this broadcast without commercials is 1911. So you see, you got duality of 911 and 911. What does 911 and 911 look like? It looks the same as Austin 316. Ladies and gentlemen, what do they get?
Appreciate all your reporting. We're going to turn now to some other news and new details about that deadly house explosion in Pennsylvania that killed at least 5 people. New video shows just how destructive it was as officials try to figure out how it happened in the first place. Emily Aketa is there.
Tonight, a western Pennsylvania neighborhood in pieces after a deadly house explosion rattled the area. The terrifying incident in Plum captured on a doorbell camera. You can see debris shooting across the whole block and the fireball that demolished several homes on Saturday morning.
We have a whole building completely gone. We have copious amounts of...
That's right. You get baptized by fire. So, and I told you in one of my early videos, I was telling you about this with Mars going so deep into retro and going from Gemini back to Gemini, which is the twins. This duality stuff is starting to splinter off. So, gotta get this bigger. So, oh yeah, here's another duality and more signs in movies. Now, I realize this wasn't the most popular movie. I get that. I'm not saying all these ones are winners. I really try to stick with the more popular ones, but this one's too perfect because it's explained everything. And we'll get to the 2 planes. I might have to pause this, but this is the movie. This is a real movie. This is real Google. All these websites are real. They're not. I'm not going to take the time to fake any of this. I mean, you guys can look all this stuff up. But some of this stuff, depending on how many years after you see these videos, the internet changes. I've noticed that. You can't always find this stuff. But this one you should be able to find. That's not a problem. So, well, I'm gonna have to find another news broadcast. I'm only able to open 2 windows of NBC Nightly News. It won't let me open a third one, so I wasn't able to queue it up. So I will probably have to hit pause or something and then pick this one back up. But we're going to read through this. So 2 planes almost collide. And I mentioned that when I'm reading off the fulfilled prophecy of the Friday the 13th forecast predictions. And I say, well, what do you want? You want me to just have a bunch of planes dropping out of the air and almost hitting on the runway? Because that was another story that was on that news. But this movie covered all that, so, and I'll prove it. That's okay. But I don't have it queued up right now. So 2 planes almost collide. Blah 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 blah, and it's all part of the duality, and the main character, the hero of the story, must figure a way to break the power of the past to take control of time itself. Now, I've already proven I've done that. I've already done all this stuff, which is amazing because you guys still aren't paying attention. But it's okay. I'm okay with it. I mean, I'm okay with losing 90% of you. That's what I'm saying. And I don't want you to get confused because it's not really me who's baptizing you with fire. It's yourselves, it's your own karma coming back at you. So don't get confused and think you kill Jesus and he's gone and you're okay, and you kill Socrates and he's gone and you're okay. You kill me, you're definitely not going to be okay because there's no one coming after me to guide you. You will be completely lost in space. There will be no human voice to give you direction or tell you where to start, which is what I've been trying to do this whole time, but I can't even get your dumb motherfuckers' attention. So you just really despise the truth. That's what I've learned. I mean, and it's not just this truth, even truth that you guys pretend is in your best interest, even for money, to serve your own god of money. I give you advice to do that and you ignore that because it's the truth. So I've done what I can, but you're just running out. You're just run out of time. I mean, there's just nothing about that. So Remember this movie, Two Planes Almost Collide. I'm gonna pause this and find that other one, so hopefully I can do it in time. All right. Actually, no, I'm gonna leave this rolling because I may not be able to cue. This may drop my. Okay, so this was on. I've got it written down Saturday, which was what day was that? I don't know. Fudge. 12th. Okay, which one is the 12th?
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Since you're planning to watch the game today? Yeah, I have to watch my neighbor's NFL Sunday ticket. It's not your best plan. You know what it is?
There's nothing I can do
My
about
plan
these
from Verizon.
commercials.
Switch now and they'll give you NFL Sunday ticket from YouTube TV on them. This plan is amazing. Another amazing plan? Backing away from you very slowly. For a limited time, get NFL Sunday ticket from YouTube TV on us. A $449 value. Plus get a free Samsung Galaxy S23. Only on Verizon.
Good evening. As we come on the air in the West, we're following late-breaking news tonight in Atlanta, where a grand jury investigating 2020 election interference has returned indictments, though we do not yet know against whom. With so many of the legal cases involving former President Trump happening behind closed doors, tonight we watched live as a clerk handed the judge 10 indictments. All day, the grand jury heard testimony from witnesses in the investigation.
Okay, well, I'm doing this all myself. I can't polish these videos up. I'm doing everything. You guys aren't even paying attention. How much effort does one hand clapping got to put into clapping? You know what I'm saying? Anyways, let's get to
loved ones. Hundreds. Survivors in dire need of food and supplies, and new questions tonight. Where were emergency officials when the fires broke out? Plus, the family who fled into the ocean to escape the flames, what they told me about how they waited there for hours.
Both sides, to the left and the right, are on fire.
And the newscaster breaking down live on the air.
This is one of the toughest stories that I've had to cover in my time here.
Tell me about it.
Also breaking tonight, a massive explosion destroys homes in one Pennsylvania town. The investigation now into what caused it. Nearly all Republican candidates in one place in Iowa. Our reporter with former President Trump as we learn when a Georgia grand jury will hear a new case against him.
Is there any chance you take a plea deal in Georgia?
Frightening close call at a San Diego airport.
There.
A Southwest flight almost taking off into a landing business jet. Is an air traffic control shortage to blame? And back here.
That's what I was looking for. Now, they do a whole story on that, but that is literally what the movie 222 is about. If you haven't seen it, it's not really popular. It's not the greatest movie, but why is this not working? I don't know.
This is standing, but we can't.
Yeah.
The church before the wildfire.
You've heard of low budget productions. This is a no budget production by somebody who isn't social media savvy. This is all on my cell phone with my TV and my existing computer.
Safety.
Despite his fears, Noah kept the family calm.
Don't look at the back, don't look.
This is Noah 3.0, but with fire.
Sorry.
They waited there well into the night, the flames burning on land just beyond them. And when their mother
That's
started
Noah
getting too
3.0. That's what you guys are moving into.
All huddled around her and just wanted to keep her warm. We kept
Noah tells me he doesn't want to leave Lahaina. He wants to be here.
I'm looking for the planes.
Do you intend to overturn the 2020 election?
Of course he intended to. Why do they ask such dumb questions, right?
Could those potential charges in Georgia against former President San Diego when a jet flew closely above another flight that was about to take off? Sam Brock has more.
Once again, a routine procedure at a U.S. airport could have proved disastrous, this time at San Diego International.
Go around, flight the publicist approaching. All right, going around, for Victor.
Friday's close call on the runway, simulated here, shows a Cessna Citation business jet trying to land right over a Southwest Airlines Boeing 737, although it's not clear exactly how close the two aircraft came. The FAA explaining in a statement the controller had previously cleared the Citation to land, and then instructed the Southwest plane to taxi onto that runway and wait for instructions to depart. A surveillance system then triggered a warning. John Cox, a pilot.
I even noticed this. This is my name right here. Right here. Just move the R to there. That's my name there. I put my name on everything I own. You know what I'm saying?
With decades of experience, says that's part of a layered system of protections.
The fact that
That includes stock market, all the markets. They're all mine.
You have someone at air traffic control who told a business jet they were good to land, and then also told a Southwest airplane they were good to be on that same runway. Does that raise questions to you?
It's very common, very, very common to clear an airplane to land on a runway knowing that there's going to be a departure off of it. There's a given cadence, there's a pace to it.
out of that close call with seconds to spare.
A spate of scares this year has drawn federal scrutiny.
Southwest board, FedEx is on the go.
From a FedEx plane that nearly landed on top of a Southwest flight in Austin, to planes clipping wings at Newark Liberty International.
Do you think there's a combination of things that are going on here, from miscommunication to air traffic control perhaps erring, to lack of staffing? Is it a whole bunch of things?
I think it is a whole bunch of things. I think that the lack of staffing on the part of air traffic controllers clearly, I think, is causing stress in their system.
Now, a handful of severe incidents, prompting a closer look at protocols. Sam Brock, NBC News.
Tonight is the night to step out.
All right. Well, we'll go back to this because I want to point out something that I started the Frequency YouTube channel. Fuck. Why is everything so sticky? I started in 2022. These planes, all these stories I just covered, guess when they started? Same time. This is another prophetic movie. There's hundreds of them. Same with the songs. There's probably thousands of songs because there's way more songs than movies. They're not all popular. I realize that. But even with the popular ones, there's still tons of them. There's tons and tons of popular ones. I could review them for you, but there's no point if you guys aren't going to pay attention. So, adios, you dumb motherfuckers.